Hi, everybody. This is going to be your Sky Peaks Mountain Runs race brief. I'm Aaron Barber, your race director. We're going to work our way going through the courses today. I'll get into some other race information after that. A lot of our information can be found on the website, so if you haven't yet, I would urge you to check out the website. A lot of helpful stuff can be found there, but regardless, I'll go over everything that you'll need to know today. We're going to start with the courses. We'll work from the longer distances down so we can take a gander at some of these maps here. And I'll just take you through the 50-mile route. As you probably know, we have a new start-finish location, and here's a kind of our proximity to Flagstaff. This is going to be at the Fort Valley Trailhead. Use the, if you're trying to navigate, either know where you're going or pull the address off of the website or in the email I sent out yesterday, because if you just Google Fort Valley Trailhead, sometimes it'll take you to the actual ranger district, which is on the east side of the mountains and nowhere close to where we're starting. But just make sure we're off of the 180. We're right short of the snowball turn. This is actually Forest Road 164B is the actual turn. So you'll notice here, this is the Fort Valley Trailhead is actually right here. We're going to be off to the left-hand side, and I'll get into how the parking situation is going to work. But let's start through the 50-mile course. We're going to start at the north end, work on a paved road, and then we're going to jump on the 164B. That is going to take us 2.5 miles up to the Fort Valley Aid Station. Fort Valley Aid Station is going to be a pretty critical junction because we do have 50K runners coming back this way. We have 26K runners taking a right here, but there's a lot of signage that we'll have out that'll specifically say 50 mile straight, mile 2.4 to Snowball. So you're going to go straight through the aid. It's at mile 2.4, so I don't know if you're going to stop. Probably not. It is gentle uphill for the first 9 or so miles. Then you're going to jump on some gradual uphill trails heading this way before you start really climbing, making your way up the mountain. You go through the famed power line climb, this steepest section right here, before it starts to top out in the snowball lots. There has been some construction lately. You'll hit your snowball aid and then go through the snowball lots. Now this year, the ski area is putting in a new lift, so there's a lot of construction in this vicinity. In the past, we've gone right across the lift and through this part of the Aspen Loop. Unfortunately, we can't do it this year, but you do get to run on a brand new trail that they just made to go around the construction, and you still touch the aspens. I was up there running it a couple weeks ago. It's super smooth and net downhill. This is going to lead you to another critical junction. You can't see it here, but you will take a right to head north. 50K runners are going to take a left to head south. This will be clearly marked with color-coded signs. 50-mile runners, your signs are white. So as long as you follow the white signs, you should be good to go, but it's always good to know the course. This next section of course, down to Whitehorse, is going to be like a 7-mile descent. It is this section right here. So net downhill, really smooth trail. You get to see a lot of aspens, which are changing color right now. It is the AZT, the Arizona Trail, and that's going to take you to Forest Road 418. And get used to Forest Road 418 because you're on it for a while. So in the past, we've had the aid station right at the junction here. You're actually going to take a right-hand turn first and go a little ways down. And this is just to take some distance off the next section. So here's Whitehorse Aid. You're kind of in this section right here, if you look at the topo map. So it's still mostly flat. On 418, it's kind of rolly, but you're always descending. I did try my best to get you off of the forest road, as I tried to add more trail up here, but the Forest Service said no to this year. But there's actually a right-hand turn off of the 418. The 418 follows this way. Don't keep staying straight on the 418. We're actually going to toss you back onto some single track for just over a mile before you jump back onto the 418, just to break up those road sections for you. Then we're back on road. We got a pretty nice descent. These should be nice, easy, and fast miles. We're in this vicinity on the graph. And then you got one more big downhill before you get to Hostetter Aid. I'll kind of zoom out for you to see where you are. You're about halfway through your course right now. Hostetter Aid is your last aid before another big climb, and that's going to be this one up to Lockett Meadow Campground. So make sure you grab what you need at Hostetter. They'll take good care of you. Then we're going to go up to Lockett Meadow. This is a road climb, but it's not very much well traveled. And then we're going to do a loop around the campground, and we're going to start descending. Your descent is on, it's called the forest road, but it's like really rocky, single track, two track. It's this descent right here, and it's pretty technical. So just take your time. We don't want any rolled ankles or anything like that. That is going to pop you out onto an actual road before you hit the 420 aid. Aid station 420 is actually going to be manned by the Aravaipa racing team, so they'll take good care of you there. And then you start another stretch on Forest Road 420 that is going to be net uphill with some rolling hills and great views of the San Francisco peaks. You're kind of in this section on the course. That's going to take you all the way to Schultz Pass Aid before you climb Weatherford. Weatherford's you'll have drop bags. You'll have drop bags at Whitehorse, but probably the most important ones will be right here at mile 41 at Schultz. Some people might want to think about getting lights out or maybe some nighttime or warmer gear. It's supposed to be warm on Saturday, but the temperature drops pretty quick. We'll be looking at 40s as nighttime lows. After Schultz, it's about a mile and a half climb up Weatherford. The gradient's pretty gentle. The trail is pretty, it could be in better condition. We've done some work on it, but it's not a very traveled trail. So there's some saplings, there's some logs that you have to crawl over and jump over. Then we get a nice descent coming off Weatherford until you hook up to the Moto Trail. Moto Trail has some cool rock features. You're going downhill. It's not a fast descent though. So this section heading straight south right here, not fast. You're going to link back up with the AZT, hit Fort Valley Aid. That's with 2.5 miles to go, 2.4 miles to go. Some people might skip that aid. Some people might want some food there. And then it's just the 164B back to the finish line. The last 2.5 miles should be nice and easy for you. Moving right into the 50K, I'll spend less time on your start because it's the same start as the 50 mile. So you're going to go up the 164B to your first critical junction. We're going to mark the crap out of this. I just made a bunch of signs. 50K, you're going to be following red signs. So get that in your head right now. And then this first junction for Fort Valley Aid, you're going to go straight. Continue straight. We'll have volunteers up there as well as Patty and Peter Curry will be working the aid station all day. They will point you in the right direction. So straight through on your way to Snowball at mile 2.4. Same as the 50 milers. You're going to start a gentle climb before it gets steeper and you really start climbing up the mountain. Climb up the power line, hit Snowball Aid at mile 9. And then same thing as the 50 milers. We're going to get you through the parking lots. A lot of volunteers, 5 volunteers and a staff member to get you through the parking lots here. And so you don't get hit by a car or anything like that on the road. It can be busy this time of year with leaf peepers up at Snowball. We're going to hit the ski run and same thing, brand new trail. This is nice downhill until you get to this critical junction linking up with the AZT. 50 milers will turn right and go north. You're not in the 50 miles, so you don't want to go that way. You'll turn left. Follow the red signs. This will be very clearly marked for you. It will have the mileage on it too. So it'll say 50K left, mile 10.4, 50 mile right, mile 10.4, and they'll be color coded as well. This next 9 mile stretch or 8.5 mile stretch back to Fort Valley Aid is great. It's all on the AZT and is gentle downhill. On your graph, you're looking at like this section right here. So you did work hard to get up to Snowball, but now you have a lot of recovery. So at Snowball, you might be feeling bad with the elevation and the climbing, but it does get easier momentarily. So descend on the AZT. This will bring you back to Fort Valley Aid Station. So you'll be here again at mile 18.5. You'll have access to a drop bag here. We're going to go straight across this time. You'll have plenty of signs, and people know where to point you, but you'll stay on the AZT. Don't go back to Snowball. Don't go to the finish. Go straight across again and stay on the AZT. This is another important junction. This one's not as bad. We'll have wrong way signs, but you're going to go out this way, and on your way back, come this way. But you're going to take the AZT for another 5 miles to Schultz Pass Aid. This is slightly uphill, not too bad towards the first 3 miles out of Fort Valley. It's pretty gradual. The last 2 miles, like right around here, it starts kicking up more. And it rolls the whole way. We will route you around the back of Schultz Tank, so it's a little pond. I'm not sure if it has water in it right now, but it's at least it's a nice little lush wetland area. You'll hit Schultz Aid Station, and then you'll climb up Weatherford, crawl under the logs, hop over the logs, whatever you want to do, and then we'll make our way down Moto Trail, more rocks, more logs, not a fast descent, and you'll hit Fort Valley Aid for the 3rd time. This is with 2.5 miles to go, so stop if you need anything or breeze right through it. And now we're going to come back down the 164B straight to the finish line, just like we came out there. So that's your whole route like that. And to go through it, up like a clover, down this way, straight through Fort Valley again, do this loop back. This is going to be a great course. It's got some good climbs. I'm a big fan of Weatherford climb, but I kind of like those tough off-trail type things. 26K is just half of the 50K course. So you'll start out the same spot, work your way up 164B to Fort Valley Aid. 26K runners, it's going to be very important. Again, we will have this clearly marked, but there's always one. You have to turn right onto the AZT. If you go straight, it'll take you to Snowball, and you're going to do way more miles than you signed up for. So you will turn right at Fort Valley from the 164B onto the AZT. Then you're going to do this loop up to Schultz Aid Station, around the tank, up Weatherford, down Moto, and then you'll fly these last 2 miles, you'll fly back. So you'll hit Fort Valley once at mile 2.5, then Schultz halfway through your race, Fort Valley again with 2.5 miles to go, and the finish for you. And the 10K. You're a little different, 10K runners. You're only going to go as far north as Fort Valley. They're great trails. I'm really happy how the 10K route turned out. Same start, but instead of going up the 164B, you'll finish on it, but you won't go out there. We'll have a person directing you at the start of your race. You're going to actually go into the Fort Valley trailhead and jump on the single track at the trailhead. You'll take some really smooth single track until it's gradual uphill, but maybe 2 miles into your race, you'll hit the Poker Trail. So it's actually like a more technical section in here where you're going uphill, quite a bit of rocks, some cool rock features, and then it starts to, you're still climbing all the way up to the AZT, but really the only technical section is like right on Poker. So mile 2.1 to 2.5. So just a short section of technical stuff, a little steeper, a little more rocks, going to be a little slower. Climb all the way up to the AZT. You'll have a very critical left-hand turn onto the AZT. If you turn right, you're going to head out to Schultz, and you don't want to do that. Well, we have got a ton of signage. It'll be very clearly marked for you. A little bit on the AZT before you hit your one and only aid station at Fort Valley. It's roughly 4 miles into your race, so if you need the aid, feel free to grab some. I'm sure most people will breeze right through it. And then you got 2.5 miles flying down the 164B. Gentle downhill, nice 2-track road. Until you come to our finish area. So those are your course. That's your course detail. Let's talk about restrooms, mostly for the longer distances, 50 mile and 50K. I guess 26K, you have one in your course as well. We'll just go to the 50-mile map. You'll have restrooms at the start finish. We bring it in Porta Johns for that. At Snowball, so this goes for the 50K runners too. They have restrooms set up right before you go back onto the single track. So you'll hit the aid station, you'll go through the parking lot, cross the road, through another parking lot, and right around this area, there's 8 or 10 porta potties. 50 milers, that's your last official bathroom until you get to Lockett Meadow Campground. There's a pit toilet up here, so between Hostetter and 420 Aid. And then there's another one at Schultz, right here. So 50K runners and 26K runners, you'll have the opportunity to have a real bathroom. And 10K runners, you'll have them at your start finish. That's going to take us to parking. This is a brand new venue. We've never hosted a race here before, so we're doing our best to plan on it. Parking could be tight. It might not be. Um, as always, I'd challenge everyone to try to carpool if possible. Totally understand if not. So I sent this out in the email yesterday, but you pull in off the 180 here to go to the, like you're going to go to Fort Valley Trailhead. This is the 164B. Our race headquarters are going to be, the road splits. It's actually paved on this one, and we're on this dirt road. It's actually really wide. You can kind of get a good scale. There's a car and a trailer right here. But we're going to try to, and our race headquarters are going to be all in this area. So we'll have multiple parking attendants on the morning of the race, but we're going to put everyone in. No one can parallel park. We're going to try to get you in, I guess, perpendicular, right next to each other, and on both sides. Also, this whole area, you can kind of see this loop, and it makes the 180 and then this road. This is all the Fort Valley use area. So if you can we're allowed to camp there and whatnot. So we can actually go into the trees if possible. It's bouldered off in some spots, but if we need to pull into the trees right here to park, that's fine. The parking attendants will be very aware of this as well. We'll also fill in this side of the dirt lot and even get into the trees over here. Once that fills up, the plan, there's a little additional parking. There's a old abandoned road this way. We can route cars there. And then here, we're going to route them on one side of the road. We can park here. As a last resort, we'll send people up the 164B. So we're gonna tell you to go up the 164B to find a parking spot. I just ask that no one parks on the side of the road like this, because there's plenty of pullouts, like on both sides. If you drive 100 yards farther, you can see we can probably fit 8 or 10 cars in here, and they just keep going. I don't know if we're gonna need to use those. I doubt it, but that's our last option for parking as we move northbound. And that is the race course. So be careful if there's runners on the course and you happen to be driving. This would be mostly relevant for maybe 10K runners when they're showing up. They might hit the 50K or the 26K start, but just pull over, give everyone, there's plenty of room for cars and foot traffic at the same time. We're going to have staff vehicles going up and down this road all day anyways, so we will always defer, give the runners plenty of room, try not to blow up dust in their face or anything like that. As far as camping goes, we have full access to camp here. So if you want to show up, but it's only for Friday night. So if you want to show up early and camp, you can camp in this area. Again, just don't park like this car, taking up a bunch of room. Try to pull in this way, or even better, get off of the dirt road and into the trees. If you want to bring a tent and set up a camp, anywhere in here is great. And then again, I've in the email yesterday, if you have a trailer or a larger trailer, contact me directly. But basically, I'm just going to try to put you to take up as little parking spots as we can. So we're going to probably push trailers up in this area and park them this way, or even better, off into the trees as much as we can. And that's going to do it for camping. If you are camping, there's the National Forest asked us to, the only fires that are allowed are like propane fires. So if you're going to build a campfire, it can't be with wood. It has to be able to be turned off. If anyone has a wood fire, you're risking DQ if it's of a race person, because that does threaten this race and future events that we'd try to hold up here. They're very serious about their fires in Coconino County. So other details, packet pickup race day registration. If you know someone that wants to register for the race, they're welcome to do that at packet pickup on Friday night or on Saturday morning. It's totally fine to pick up your packet or register on Saturday morning. There's a lot of people coming up from Phoenix that are driving up in the morning that I know of. So stopping by the start finish and grabbing your packet that day is totally fine. Our Friday packet pickup is actually at Hops on Birch. This is in downtown Flagstaff. It's a nice little tap room. It's not a restaurant, so there's no food there, but we do, we'd love everyone to kind of walk around Flagstaff, spend your money, buy some food, and patronize the local businesses. But our packet pickup will be at Hops on Birch. There's no parking lot actually at Hops on Birch. It's right downtown. Heritage Square is right across the street. So there's ample parking over by City Hall, or street parking, especially if you get over on the east side. A lot of street parking, but take a little bit, walk around downtown, come see us at Hops on Birch. Packet pickup is from 4 to 6. You don't all need to come at 4 o'clock because that's what all ultra runners do is everyone comes right at the beginning and waits in line, and then we get no one from 5 to 6 o'clock. But if you want to avoid the crowd, come from 5 to 6 or show up early like you probably will anyways. Saturday morning is back at the start finish, so don't go to Hops on Birch on Saturday unless you're going there to buy a beer. Speaking of buying beer, Hops on Birch is giving all runners $2 off beers throughout the weekend. We don't have a beer tent at the start finish, so if you do need to buy stuff, they'd have like a to-go section, a big refrigerator there. So pick up some, and it's really good beer, a lot of different craft choices. So grab some beer there, get one on tap, and they're also donating gift cards to the winners. So we have 4 different distances. So 8 winners of the races will each receive a $20 gift card to Hops on Birch. So thank you to them for coming out there. Last things, we'll kind of touch on drop bags and just that protocol. And then that's about it. All the other information can be found on the website. So 50 milers, you've got drop bags at Whitehorse up here and Schultz here. 50K runners, you have drop bags at Fort Valley. Obviously, you're not going to need them at mile 2.5 or with 2.5 to go. So they'll only be there for mile 18.5 when you go through your race. At the start finish on Saturday morning, we're not doing any drop bags on Friday night. So bring your drop bags to the start. There will be signs that'll say Schultz Pass drop bags, 50 mile only. Whitehorse drop bags, 50 mile only. Fort Valley drop bags, 50K only. Make sure you put them in the right pile and keep them to a reasonable size, no huge duffel bags or suitcases. And we'd really strongly suggest not doing Tupperware as well. Our staff trucks get really tight when we're packing stuff in, and a big Tupperware bin being rigid is tough to fit in there. So a dry bag is great. Keep it small, and we'll get them. And then at the actual aid stations where they're located, there will be signs that say like Fort Valley drop bags, and there will be another pile, like a sign with a cone that say used drop bags. If you want your drop bag we'll do our best to get it to the finish before you, but put it in that used drop bag pile, because if it stays in the normal pile, we're not going to know to take it to the finish, and you might be waiting a while for it. But we should be able to get them back in a timely manner. There's never a set time because it's kind of just whenever we can get a truck out there. But with Schultz and Fort Valley being really drivable and close to the finish, those will come back. We'll probably take multiple trips. So we're trying not to make you wait too long for your drop bags. Whitehorse for 50 milers, they'll be back in no time. That aid station breaks down at 11 a.m. That is all I got for you. If I didn't cover something that's not on the website or through this video or in the email I sent out, feel free to reach out to me directly. I'll be at Packet Pickup on Friday night, and obviously at the starts in the morning. Happy to answer any questions that I didn't go over. You can always email me or text me beforehand too. I'm happy to answer any questions you have, but I'm excited to see y'all up there. We're looking at great weather, low 80s on Saturday right now, and mid 40s for the low at night. That could change, but prepare accordingly. Either way, it's much better than Phoenix weather. So I'm excited to see y'all up there, and let's get it done. We'll see you this weekend.